Hello, YouTube. You saw a very small part of this tournament. It's the Dream, the largest tournament in terms of starting field in America's Cardroom history, if not all time. I mean, I'm no expert of robot internet poker or anything, but 49,016 seems like a very large number. That's how many people were playing in this tournament. About 4,300 of them made it to day two. And let's go ahead and just shout out everyone who made the top 100 because that is a heck of an accomplishment. And yet they only made, let's see, 100th place got less than 25 times return on investment. Feels like it should have been a little more than that. Yeah, we once again are stuck with very, very top-heavy prize pools here. But, it is what it is. And it's okay to be top-heavy for a progressive knockout at the very least because there's more than one way to make your money back, of course. I mean, you even saw me get a knockout for 50 cents. And then just immediately lose all patience. I did say that that was against how I operate and everything. That was against my overall philosophy of how to play poker, but I just went for it anyway. Good news, though, is I am fine. 9. Okay. I am fine. And the robots have even allowed me to buy in for my real money again. So you will see me play a little bit more, a little bit more poker. So yeah, the guaranteed prize pool is 100,000 off of a 250 buy-in, and incredibly, we actually exceeded that by a decent margin. As you see, the regular prize pool is 61.2k, and that's what's reflected here. The bounty is obviously what depends on the individual how many knockouts they had. And because it's progressive knockout, if you knock somebody out later in the game, chances are that's worth more than an early knockout like mine. All right. However, the game itself is just no limit hold'em, so why don't we just go ahead and start? And a good start for Broccoli Farmer. Ant Chip 12345. I was like sort of vaguely following the action, but not like super deep. Oh goody, a deal already. Okay, he was kidding. I guess he was just kidding. But like when we're down to 53 players or so, Ant Chip had like two and a half times as much as second place, and it was still about that bad when we were down to about 42. So he has just been having an unbelievable run here, and it has continued. He has not blown it. He has made the final table as a chip leader. So we will see how long his gravy train will stay on the tracks. Now, of course, it does not say there was a deal made, so I'm assuming there isn't a deal made. So get hecked. And you know what? There's actually a surprising amount of play at this table with blinds of 500,000 and 1 million. There's only 3 people under 20 big blinds, and even then, Mass actually technically has 20 big blinds now. He's just in the big blind. There's a surprising amount of play here. I say that because in the early going, it was 10-minute levels, and then for most of day 2, it was 8-minute levels. We're back to 10-minute levels for the final table here. But, you would kind of expect things to be a little bit shallower, but we have plenty of play left. Of course, as I mentioned when covering OSS 211L, well, low, they were getting stuff done at this table. FP Pereira has to go with the 7s, you would think, and Ant Chip will be priced into call with the 5-4 of clubs, obviously hoping that he would have a hand like, say, Bass 9006. And he'd have 2 live cards, but he's going to have a lot of work to do. FP Pereira, what's the holdup? Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I've seen a lot of really, 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 really tight play. So I was prepared to cringe as he folded there. 5-4 clubs calls, and 5-4 clubs has no chance. Has a chance. Ace or a 6 does it, but okay, he's not running that good. glad that we established that. He's not running that good. Okay. So FP Pereira with the double up for Portugal. Slip and bleed now becomes a short stack. but a pretty happy short stack. So yeah, to give you a sense of how far these guys have come to get to this final table, if 49,016 wasn't enough for you, the ante is 125,000, which is almost 21 starting stacks for the ante. The minimum bet being a million. Well, that would be, let's see, 133 starting stacks. Wait. No, 166 starting stacks. And, oh, Broccoli Farmer with a poorly timed all-in. Luckily for him, of course, Slip and Bleed has fewer chips. The aces do hold up, however, and Broccoli Farmer stuck down to 25.5 million. No one at this table is really out of it. Even the short stacks, they're just one double up away from being right back in contention now. So, however long we thought this final table might last, well, it's going to last a whole lot longer now. We have 8 players, all with a realistic chance at this point of sticking around and winning the whole thing. Catch me if you can with Ace-King. Slip and Bleed, I imagine, will not be playing the 9-4. Ant Chip with pocket sixes and the big stack, obviously, pretty much an automatic raise. And there's the 3-bet from Catch Me If You Can. Ant Chip willing to see a flop and try and set mine, but that's not the kind of flop he wanted to see. And Catch Me If You Can, of course, with top pair, top kicker. And he's not fooling around at all. He's just going to go all in. I don't know why he's doing that when he's, got fewer chips than his opponent. That seems like an awfully big risk, but he just did not want to see any turn cards. Just, I have a good flop. I like it. Let's just end the hand now. Pocket tens for Broccoli Farmer. Catch Me If You Can with sort of a playable hand here. Ant Chip with a very playable hand. Catch Me If You Can not moving as much as his username might suggest. And when he does move, he moves in such a way that everybody else just folds and he wins a small pot. Again, though, this is just the first couple of hands of the final table. I'm sure he played fantastic to get here. You cannot outlast 49,000 people without being very, very good. So top pair for Ant Chip, Broccoli Farmer with only one overcard and a flush draw. He's got to like it, and he is going to bet after getting checked to. Ant Chip will go ahead and exercise pot control here. He doesn't have a gigantic lead over this table after all. Shoutouts to Kuche90 from Paraguay. I've seen a few of these huge tournaments where a relatively random country ends up winning it, so keep an eye out for Kuche90. Broccoli Farmer still likes it. You'd think you might take a free card at that point, but he's going to bet about half pot. And top pair is going nowhere, and he hits the flush, Broccoli Farmer. Now, it comes with the caveat of being a paired board, and he doesn't have the best spade, so he does check it. Ant Chip happy to check back, and Broccoli Farmer gets back what he shipped to Slip and Bleed. And Ant Chip still in first place, but not by a whole lot. And King Queen Suited goes into the muck for FP Pereira. It's not a very conservative avatar, but pretty conservative player. But again, this is just the first few minutes of the final table. Surely he played extremely well to get here. Of course, 49,016 players. There's going to be a lot of fish out there. But you can't be a fish to get past that many people. You really can't. Even with a $2.50 buy-in. The really good players will find their way here. There's one expressive unicorn, by the way. that avatar for Ant Chip. 3 of spades on the turn doesn't change anything. Neither of these guys have much of a hand. But Kuche sticking around with the ace high, and he's correct to do so. Check, check on the turn. Another 3 on the river figures to be a brick. Kuche now bluffing with the best hand. Catch me if you can. Again, fairly conservative, it would seem. But, I mean, he's got king high. Of course he's going to fold that. But yeah, just saying that, betting there is a good idea if you've noticed what he's been doing. So, nicely played by Kuche. Ant chip, Jack King offsuit. Min raise. Kuche could play the suited king if he wants. Out of position, though. He will. And I think ICM kind of goes out the window when every player has at least a decent stack. Well, neither player wants to play a really big pot here because there is still at least a little bit of ICM consideration. It would be ICM suicide to mess around here, so they're going to chop it with the king. And everybody knows what they say about... Uh-oh. Everybody knows what they say. Everyone loves a chop pot. No chop pot here, though. Another raise from Ant Chip with, fairly playable hand with just 4 players left in the hand, but just runs into a much, much better hand. And he is going to slow play. I'm going to try things a little bit differently here. And Ant Chip does flop a gut shot. That's not the best looking board for 2 aces, but it's not the worst. Gut shot bets, obviously having no idea he's up against aces because Kuche just called. And Ant Chip now with a double gutter, 9 or queen or an 8 now works. He'll check and see if he can see a cheap river card, but I don't think Kuche is going to allow that. Oh, that's not cheap. But he will go for it anyway, and another ace. Kuche has to love that card. It's not even the ace of hearts. There's no flush out there. The only hand that beats him really is 9-8 or king-queen, and that's a pretty solid bet, but there's no way Kuche folds. He's just going to call. Maybe he just wanted to make sure that he got to see what Ant Chip was playing. Maybe he was calling just for the information, didn't think that if he raised, he was going to get a call. Or if he really, really, really thought that he might have a straight. Again, there's the whole idea of ICM suicide. If he actually had, raised all in there, and Ant Chip did have a straight, then he would never forgive himself, Because we do have to point out, of course, 8th place is $704, which is excellent for a $2.50 buy-in, but when first place is $8,276, you don't want 8th. You kind of want first, if I may point out the obvious. Still, though, very nice pot for Kuche. FP Pereira takes a little raise and take it there. Kuche now our leader by a decent margin, actually, taking Ant Chip down to 42.9 million. Kuche at 92.6 million. And, yeah, he can kind of control the table now if he chooses to. Again, we can kind of get a sense of how aggressive these guys are based on the total amount of chips in their bounty, or total amount of money in their bounty. Ant Chip, obviously, as I mentioned, had a gigantic chip lead for pretty much the last 6 tables leading up to this final table, so he had a lot of knockouts. Kuche didn't have as many, but still had a fair amount of knockouts. Remember, everybody started out with just a 50 cent for their bounty. Catch Me If You Can with a little bit less. FP Pereira with a lot less, which, goes along with the relative tightness that we've seen from them. The Jack's going to the muck immediately. Very good fold there by Gulai. Catch Me If You Can with top 2 pair. An excellent flop. But doesn't get much out of it. Actually gets nothing out of it. Still, anytime you drag a pot worth 9 million, when you started out with 6,000 chips, you're not going to be too upset about that. That's 1,500 starting stacks that you just won. The ante is now 25 starting stacks. Broccoli Farmer and ooh, catch me if you can going at it, and what a flop for Broccoli Farmer. Straight flush draw. He'll bet it. Catch me if you can has no business calling here. So unfortunately, we don't get to see whether or not he would have hit the straight flush, but you know, that is the proper thing to do. Because as amazingly, what's the word, tantalizing as that is, you still don't have a hand yet, so you want to win a pot no matter how small. King Jack decides not to play. Slip and Bleed, of course, not one of the bigger stacks. Gulai also not with one of the bigger stacks, so raising with queens there gets a lot of respect, and that's not always a good thing. Pereira with a good fold there with the weak ace. Broccoli Farmer with ace 10. And the big blind and chip leader has ace 9, so pretty good setup here. 9 goes into the muck there, too. And Chip has been very active, obviously, but he's got to switch gears. It looks like he's doing that. And good chance of a chop pot now. That is, if they don't make the other guy fold. Broccoli likes that exact number for some reason. And there is a call, and 3 queens on the board. The 10 kicker and the 9 kicker actually still play here. Obviously, a lot of cards would chop it. If there's full house or quads on the board, it's a chop. If there's an ace, they both chop it. Well, a 10's not going to chop it. Broccoli Farmer not only has the best hand, but knows it. If it was a 7 queen, ace, king, or jack, it would have been a chop. Kuche with just a poorly timed bluff at it. And that might even be a value bet for all we know. But obviously, just picked the wrong time to do it. Broccoli Farmer probably sizing up a raise, and that will not get called. The fact that there's 3 queens on the board means that he doesn't have to be scared of like pocket 7s, because that's still not as good as just having a 10. He has queen, 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 10, 10. Pocket 7s is still just queen, 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 7, 7. So Broccoli Farmer has very little to fear about. Why is he wasting so much of his time bank? That was a lot of time bank. When he has a real decision, he might regret that. Kuche with really nowhere to go here. And now he's going to waste some time. Only 2 seconds, though. And chip on the button. But he does fold the 5-7. It's somewhat tempting to play 5-7 there, but he is switching gears, it looks like. It would limp and an all-in, and Kuche decides not to roll the dice with King-Jack, which we can see is a good decision, obviously. Gulai did not have to go all-in there, I don't think, but he'll do it his way. Now, Mass does have to go all-in. That's a pretty short stack. And it should get through. I think he'll take it. Maybe he wants a call with ace-queen there, but picking up that pot is about as much as he could want now. I do love how they have the Count as one of the characters. There's a lot of like licensed characters that America's Cardroom has here. Of course, I'm one of them. I'm the Grinch. We're 17 minutes in, no one's been knocked out yet. Blinds are up again to 700,000, 1.4 million. And boy, that was quick to fold around. Ace Queen again for Catch Me If You Can. Gucci with a better hand, though. Bad news for Kuche is that the kings are unavailable. We see Ant Chip and Slip and Bleed have a king, so if Catch Me If You Can gets lucky here, Kuche has very little hope to improve his hand. And again, he just calls with a big pair. And I think I can see why, because that was already a huge raise by Catch Me If You Can, and this is fireworks. Ace Queen suited for a nut flush draw versus the overpair, and he's going to do what he did last time and just blast all in. Queen gives him even more outs, and another queen, a double up for Catch Me If You Can. Kuche had the chip lead, and just like that, they basically switch spots on the leaderboard. Catch Me If You Can now with 91 million plus. Catch Me If You Can certainly on the unorthodox side, just going for the rip. Whenever he flops anything nice, but it's working so far. Broccoli Farmer still waiting for a deal to happen, which we know it won't. I mean, obviously Kuche's got a call there. That was a fairly innocuous board for two kings, but the ace-queen suited just also way too strong. Obviously, I wouldn't have just gone straight for the all-in, but I certainly would have bet it, and Kuche may have raised, and at that point, I might have considered myself committed. I'll say this, though. Catch Me If You Can certainly not afraid to bust. He's not worried about ICM. Actually, you could interpret that he is worried about ICM because, he just wants everybody to fold out and win a small pot and just move up the money ladder. There's two ways to argue about that. ICM for the uninitiated just basically refers to moving up the money ladder in a poker tournament. I keep using that term without knowing what it stands for. But I know it has something to do with moving up the money ladder. Slip and Bleed elects not to go all in, despite only having 10 big blinds. Gulai probably can't go anywhere either. Ace 10 suited. Wow, he does fold. And very quickly, I might add. That's a lot of discipline there, and it is well placed. I would have, at the very least, pressed the call button, if not the all-in button. Now he's going to press the all-in button with 10-6 of clubs. But different situation. FP Pereira, of course, has been playing even tighter than Slip and Bleed. And this is the reward he gets for it. 10s against kings, and you can see Gulai is about to fold a 10. Looks like the Count is going to have a whole lot more chips in front of him. So he gets to do his favorite hobby a lot more. Ace 9 goes into the muck. Okay, so it is just going to go straight up 10s versus kings here. And only the 10 of hearts is left. And he's got a royal flush draw. Holy crap. Doesn't hit it, though. So, masks the Count with the knockout. FP Pereira with an 8th place showing out of 49,016 players. No shame in that game whatsoever. But we are now down to our final 7, and we're in the 4-digit club now. Catch Me If You Can with a nice pair of 8s, and he's still raising very big. That was a 3x raise. Not as big as he was in some of the other hands, like the ace-queen hand, for instance. Speaking of ace-queen, now Slip and Bleed has it. Ant Chip is running into monsters at this entire final table now. Surely he'll be playing the king queen, and when Slip and Bleed plays the ace queen, I don't know what he's going to do. Now, as I said, he's been switching gears very nicely. Now that he's behind, he's being much more selective. But at this point, I gotta feel like the emotions, if nothing else, are going to make him play this king queen if Slip and Bleed re-raises all in here. And he does. I mean, how do you put emotions aside? It just nothing has gone his way at this final table. He's got a really good-looking hand. But 7-handed Slip and Bleed is uber tight. He knows he probably shouldn't call, and he does make the fold. Very good discipline by Ant Chip. Everything, and I mean everything, went this guy's way from six tables down to one table. The fact that he's still got his mental faculties in order after all he's been through this final table is very impressive. Because I have seen a lot of these low-stakes players just lose their minds after a small, like losing, I don't know, 20% of their chips off of a bad beat. They'll just go all in every hand after that. Which I would have thought I would not see anymore now that I'm playing at real money poker and not replay poker, but some people still do that. Rock the Farmer with a raise. Catch Me If You Can with a snap min raise with king high. But it works. He's been playing fairly tight, so he's loosening up now. You know, he's switching gears the other way. Ant Chip is becoming tighter. Catch Me If You Can is becoming looser. Slip and Bleed is still not loosening up with the 8-9 suited. Good fold, though. Just a call. And a little taste of your own medicine here. Ant Chip with the instant all-in with a big stack. Not a big stack, but, you know, that's too much for an all-in, you would think. Ant Chip does pick something up finally. Slip and Bleed, if he didn't want to play the 8-9 suited, I don't see him playing this either. Weak aces are... yeah. Okay, let's see if these guys want to play an honest pot. So far, so goo. Yep, honest pot. And top pair for Ant Chip. Kuche with nothing, really. Yeah. I like the bet with from Ant Chip. And a call with Jack High. Which is now a gut shot. Whoop-de-doo. Oh, look. He missed. What a surprise. It still goes check for Ant Chip. Kuche. Is he trying to pretend that he hit runner flush? He's going to pretend something. He's either a flush or a 3. Ant Chip with a pretty tough call, but he sees right through it. Very good call by Ant Chip with just the 9 and virtually no kicker. Impressive call there. And Ant Chip, just like that, back up to 49.1 million. And not all that far behind, all things considered. He's in second. Well, pretty much a tie for second with Broccoli Farmer. And, oh dear. So Gulai is sitting out for whatever reason. I don't know what is causing him to sit out at this big of a final table. But I hope it gets sorted out really quickly for his sake. I hope it's something mundane like just having to pee. Kuche with King Queen did not make the call there, and obviously good thing he didn't. Okay, it was quick. Catch Me If You Can with a pair of 8s. Both blinds have a hand that could call him. This time it's only a 2.5x raise instead of 3x or 3.5. They both fold. Catch Me If You Can. Now really is threatening to run away with the tournament. Kings for slip and bleed. Gulai with... This has to be too much to fold. Limp. A limp under the gun with kings. But he gets what he wants. And snap call all in. Ace queen hits the turn. Gotta have a king now for slip and bleed. And does not get it. The ace queen works for Gulai GG. Slip and bleed. I wouldn't say slip on that hand. Just got unlucky on the turn. That's all there is to it. But there is bleeding. But hopefully $1,317 is enough to buy him some good anesthetics. Gulai with ace-queen again. Catch me if you can with eights again. Interesting. Robots are running out of ideas, apparently. Eights hit none of that. Gulai likes that flop. Different flop, at least. Gulai waited until the turn in the last hand. 4 is a brick. Another check from Catch Me If You Can. Will he call again? If the 8s were good before, they're good now. Just saying. But he will fold. Price is getting a little too steep for him. He's just going to go ahead and assume that Gulai is not bluffing, and he's not. So, good fold. Gulai with 9-7 of diamonds. That's got to be tempting. He's got chips now. Another disconnection. Lines up to 800,000, 1.6 million. And the pot has 200 starting stacks worth of antes. Plus all this. Which makes it 600 starting stacks. 600 starting stacks in the pot before any cards are dealt. And Gulai being hit with robot problems at the worst possible time. But this, at the very least, he did just double up. And he's guaranteed a lot more money now. But still. I don't speak any Russian, but I imagine he is swearing heavily at his robots right now in Russian. He's just going to hold maybe either out of frustration or just doesn't want to waste the other player's time anymore. Of course, that waste of time is not his fault, just the robot's fault. Broccoli Farmer raises, Ant Chip left to defend his big blind with Queen Jack. And that is an airball for both players. Gulai now wondering why he couldn't have played that 9-7. Goes check, check. Wondering what the motivation would be for trying to buy this pot. Nope. Nobody really tries it, and the king high ends up winning. Just in time for Mass 9006. How's he going to play it? Is he going to limp it in? No, he's going to just go all in. And let's see if that gets any action. I don't think it will. Broccoli Farmer certainly tempted with the King Jack suited. But Maz hasn't made much of a move in a long time here. Yeah, he does fold. The 5s fold as well. Kuche's obviously not calling with 8-4. Kuche. Fold. Thank you. Sevens. He likes to min-raise. It seems like everybody likes to min-raise except for Catch Me If You Can. Gulai, King, Jack, certainly will see a... Really? Really? King Jack's not good enough for you? For a min-raise in the big blind? There's got to be a reason behind that fold beyond just playing poker. There has to be a reason for that. Like, I hate pocket 9s, for instance. Sometimes I will fold pocket nines when, you know, conventional wisdom says obviously to play them. But, bro, that was a min raise. How do you not see a flop with King Jack for a min raise? Bye. Gulai again just being betrayed by his robots. That might be the reason, honestly. He just didn't want to endanger his stack. He just felt like the robots were going to screw him again. Catch me if you can. Actually did make a min raise there. I was so startled by that fold that I just forgot to even notice that. Ant chip with ace jack, and Kuche again just has this guy's number. Ace king. No reason not to go all in there. And Ant chip, I don't know how he gets away from this. Yeah, he does call, but he hits the jack this time. Kuche needs a king or queen, does not hit it this time. Kuche with a great showing. It had the chip lead at one point, but his luck finally runs out against Ant Chip. But well done, representing Paraguay very nicely. And that is $1,899. Down to 5 players, and it has taken a decent amount of time to get here. We have 3 of the players wanting a chop, which means I'm not rooting for any of them. I actually have to root for all-in McGee over here, because this guy's not even being allowed to play because of his robots. Oh no, I gotta root for Gulai for that reason. He has to overcome the other players and the robots. I gotta root for Gulai. I see so much of myself in him just from that. And he's doing no deal, so. Yes, I don't care that we know that they don't do a deal. I'm still rooting against these guys. I'm sure they're wonderful people, but grow up. Catch me if you can's pocket twos. Win that hand nicely. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And the blinds are up to 1 million, 2 million. Twice as much as they were at the start of the... I just threw my support behind you, Gulai! Why do you betray me like this? I mean, we know that they're not actually going to chop it, because, I mean, look how much time there is left. You know what? Forget it. I'm still rooting for him. The robot problems are just... I can't ignore the robot problems. Anybody who's dealing with robot problems at this big of a final table, you have my support. So neither player all that wild about this board. Ant Chip at least has a gut shot, but he doesn't want to risk too much of his stack when his opponent is the only guy who has him covered. Just because everybody except Catch Me If You Can want the deal does not mean that Catch Me If You Can is going to run over this table, of course. They might look at a deal and reject it. They might look at a deal and think, wait a second, this is stupid. Let's go ahead and play for it all straight up. Like men or women. Adults. Adult humans. A6 raises. Gulai, though, with a much better hand. And that should quickly end this one. Not a huge raise, though. I might have raised a bit more, because you don't want a ton of action with 2 10s. But it works out the same. It is funny to look at a raise of 8,625,000 and say, I would have raised a little more. Call from the ace 9 suited. Mass with an interesting decision. He's going to go for the all-in. Pocket sixes, and boy, would he ever be thrilled if they both fold. That would be pickup of 11.2 million. Not gonna get what he wants though. Ace 4 suited goes for it. Ace 4 suited in great shape. Just had to dodge a 6. Almost, but not quite for mass 9006. Going with the 6s just does not get it done. But 5th place out of 49,016. I really can't get over that number. 5th place out of 49,016 for $2,512. Well done. That is 1,000 buy-ins for 5th place. King 8 raises. Now they both have. Now all 4 of these guys have perfectly capable stacks. We've lost our last true short stack. And Ant Ship is probably very worried about an unseasonably early exit after his early travails with this final table, but he's back about to where he started the final table, so I'm sure he's at least happy with. At least worst case scenario has been completely avoided now. He's in good shape. He's going to win a lot of money from this. Snap raise with the Queen Jack. Broccoli Farmer with Jack 8 suited. Certainly could see a flop. Four-handed, so. Ooh. That flop looks nice for Broccoli Farmer, but he's in terrible shape. Middle pair, but up against a better kicker and a flush draw. 7 of clubs is a brick. Small bet from Gulai. Just a call, and he does hit his flush. It's the second nut flush. Another snap bet from Gulai. Quarter pot. Broccoli with just enough to be able to make this call. This would be an impressive fold. Aha, but remember wasting all that time in your time bank? Well, it's a spot like that where you might have wanted to use it, but he does end up making the crying call, and it's no good. Gulai up to 61.6 million. Broccoli, the short stack, to 37.2 million. But still doing okay. Not great, but okay. Ace King suited. Gulai suddenly catches some cards. Hopefully his robots will allow him to actually play them. Ant Chip certainly with a playable hand himself, and nice flop for Ant Chip. Gulai elects not to continuation bet, and 2 pair now for Ant Chip. And they both count because the paired board is under his 2 pair, and he's just going to call. Maybe just a bit wary that Gulai is slow playing a 6, but he's not, so he'll take a small pot. I probably would have thrown in a little raise there. And another identical hand for Gulai, Ace King now. The robots love sequels. Broccoli Farmer might have been thinking of an all-in there. Good thing he didn't. Catch Me If You Can instead raises with the weak ace, and the strong ace just calls. The strong ace is in the driver's seat. Catch Me If You Can will not put him on Ace King. He does have a straight draw. And this hand is playing out identically to the previous one. Straight draw does not come, though. Gulai definitely comfortable that he has the best hand here. And Ace 4 does not pay him off on the river. So it's Gulai's turn to pick up a 15 million chip pot. Nothing to talk about there. King 2 is not going to cut it. 16 big blinds left. Ace 10 suited is pretty nice. Really? Nobody seems to think much of their time bank. They both pair their kicker on the flop. This should be interesting. Catch me if you can. Had the pre-flop betting lead, so sure enough, here comes half pot. And a quick call. Okay, that will stop the betting. Ugly, ugly run out. And it gets even worse. At this point, any bet would be a bluff. And they're not going to bluff it. Ace-10 wins it. Jack-10 liking that flop. King-8 liking that flop. They both like that flop. Broccoli Farmer. Being a little low on chips. A little over quarter pot. Maybe just to tilt Gulai, who always bets exactly quarter pot. Now he's got the straight. Broccoli Farmer's drawing dead. And Gulai is still slow playing. Well, he wasn't slow playing before because he just had a draw. Doesn't take the bait, and that card should save him some money. Everything got there. So Gulai with the bet, but Broccoli Farmer with just a pair of 8s and no reason to pay this bet off. Broccoli, please. Well, congratulations, you have no time bank left. I think everything we've seen him tank over is an easy decision. Surprised at the fold there with the 8-7 of diamonds. 2.5 million in the big blind. I am predicting an all-in from Gulai here. This would make sense. Barkley down to just 10 big blinds. Oh. I'm going to let him see a flop. Automatic bet from Gulai. They both missed. But we'll go show the ace of spades. That certainly did connect with the board. And that's all that Broccoli needed to know because he had king high. 3 interesting hands here. Jack-10, Jack-Queen, and 10-Ace. Okay, and they both fold. The 10-Ace will make it all in. Catch me if you can. It's not going to call it 4-3. Broccoli Farmer. Here comes another all-in, I imagine. It's getting awfully short. Yep. Queen 6, no. 9s. Well, at a 4-handed table, even I would be playing 9s every time. And he's going to 3x it. Doesn't want to see a flop. Can't blame him for that. Jacks. He's raised to 5 million. So let's do it. I'm not even going to bother telling you how many starting stacks are in the pot now. There's no point. There's kind of no point early on. But I did it anyway. There's a little bit of a point early on because I was trying to illustrate how insanely long the odds are of making this final table. Or so longer if you are like me and just see a guy going all in every hand and decide that King Queen's good enough to put your entire stack at risk. And the guy did show 10-3. Anyway, enough about that. I'll have my chances. Not at this, but at least at the dime and other games. Catch Me If You Can with a straight draw to go along with the pocket fives. Likes that flop, and that will be that. Fives again. Robots, please. I actually like the call there. The mid-raise is getting really short on chips, and King 7's actually kind of okay four-handed. But, yeah, he can't play now. Ace Queen against two kings. We've seen this before, too. Now, Gulai has to be oh, wow! He has to be thinking about Broccoli Farmer down to just 20 million. I was not expecting an all-in from Catch Me If You Can, and he does get away from it. Catch Me If You Can with a big mistake there. And Gulai with some tremendous discipline. Of course, thinking about Broccoli Farmer in fourth place there. And he does call with the ace-4. It is good. Well, not anymore. He needs a 2 or an ace to steal his hand back, but Broccoli Farmer is going to take it. And stay alive with 41.6 million. He is no longer hopelessly far behind. You know, everything is relative. Of course, the blinds keep going up and up and up, but when you've got a third as many chips as first place, you're doing all right. Because all you got to do is double up against first place, and you overtake them. Or, well, tie, basically, but overtake. Queen on the river gives a pair to Ant Chip, but he's not going to go wild about it. I kind of forgot breaks were even a thing. Except this final table started at 2:05 yesterday, so, yeah. I was going to cover it live, but that other final table ended up going on much too long, so I just decided to do something else. And this final table was going on for a while as well, so what do I do for the rest of the day? I may cover OSS 197 later today. I won't be posting them, rapid fire back to back to back because I don't know. I just kind of want to allow the audience to breathe a little bit. I upload three videos a day. That's just not fun to try and keep track of, especially long-winded commentaries like this. Yeah, I officially have a backlog now of videos. Not too fun, but I'm used to backlogs on my Twitch channel and whatnot. Got a lot of games that I've been meaning to play but never got around to. I'm staring at a punishment game right now, in fact. Brunswick Pro Bowling for the Nintendo Wii, which I actually asked for, like, sports games a lot when I was younger, and the Wii especially because of the motion controls and whatnot, But me being a naive kid, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, and my father responded by giving me Brunswick Pro Bowling for the Wii, not knowing that the Wii version using motion controls is literally unplayable. You cannot play the game. You cannot throw the ball. It just doesn't even work. You would think there's no way they can screw this up because they have Wii Sports Bowling to go off of. That's fun. But no, they decided not to go with Wii Sports Bowling controls. And why is this happening again? Maybe that's my punishment for rambling on about Brunswick Pro Bowling instead of actually talking about the game. Pocket Fours wins that nice pot. Um, be right back. So they keep telling you robots hate me. I know of what I speak. All right, let's try and find out where the heck we were. It was a little after this, I know. Wait, we can't even see them asking for a deal if we skip ahead like this. What the heck? We can't see the deal. I think this was right after the break. I'm gonna press the 3X here. Okay, yeah, this is it. Because the pocket fours won this hand, so let's press 3X and go back to normal when the hand is over. Okay. Alright, we're back. That didn't take too long. No one's got anything here. Barkley, I think, yeah, he knows better. Catch Me If You Can's been the one who's most unorthodox and most willing to press the all-in button, so limping in is a no-go. And this demonstrates just how quickly the blinds come around and start mattering again. Broccoli now approaching being hopelessly far behind again. Well, now that the deal circles are out of sight and out of mind, I can root for Gulai and his robot problems. I would love to see him just beat the robots. Ant Chip folds the 10-9. Gulai is a nice guy. He's not going to raise all in if he doesn't need to. Broccoli, however, does think that the ace is good enough, and he'll just pick up the pot right there. Gulai's kind of in trouble now. All in from the pocket fours. It's fairly standard. And he's now up to a whopping 16 big blinds. Ace 10 four-handed goes in the muck. Okay, I don't know about that, dude. I'm rooting for you because of the robots, but you gotta actually play some of these hands. I'd actually forgotten that he was the guy who folded King Jack to a min raise. Now he's folding Ace 10, four-handed. Broccoli with, I think, a good enough excuse to just jam again with 5 million extra dead money out there. Well, 3.75 million extra dead money. But yeah, he's right back in it. He's right back in it now. Ace 7's not even going to think about it. And he was on the button this time. Lines are up again. every 10 minutes. I mean, you'd think that this would be the last level or something. The blinds are just getting crazy big. I mean, let's see how many big blinds are in play. We got, let's just call that 37-27. So, 64 plus 31. So we got 95 big blinds in play for the whole tournament. If there was hypothetically going to be one hand right now that just settles the entire game, then and Catch If You Can won it, then he would only have 95 big blinds as the only stack remaining. Oh, Ant Chip is willing to press the all-in button. We've seen that. Even Catch Me If You Can is converting to min-raise. The blinds are just getting that big. The odds are overwhelmingly in favor of an American winning here, if that matters to anybody. Ace-10 suited. See, Gulai? You can play Ace-10. It's four-handed. And he's going to not go all in this time. Interesting. And Gulai is going to call from the big blind and flop a pair. Obviously, he's never calling it all in there. Maybe Broccoli was just tired of going all in. He's got a few back doors, but that 7's going to call and make that 7-5. Gulai hits 2 pair. That's definitely too strong to fold. Broccoli has absolutely nothing. And is, in fact, drawing dead here. And, okay, he does slow down. Quick bet of quarter pot by Gulai, his go-to, and Broccoli was just ace high. And no time bank, by the way. Will fake tank and then fold. Oh, he gets replenished a little bit with every break. See, easy decision, and he's wasting more time bank. I can never condone that. I know why he's fake tanking, but you don't have to go that far. You don't have to waste your entire time bank on such an easy decision. Time bank is there for the hard decisions. Does that make sense? Oh, no, not again for Gulai. Now, the disconnecting timer is very forgiving. It does reset to 90, it seems. Ugh, this poor guy. Let's 3x it. But at least we're not waiting too long for this. Now, the one caveat of that is it's forgiving for the guy who's disconnected, of course, but the blinds go up at the same rate, regardless of how many disconnections there are. King 6 suited. Actually, I like the all-in there. That's just barely good enough at this point. Catch If You Can folds. Broccoli gets what he wanted. Ooh, Ace-Jack, King-Queen suited. King-10 suited. But I think if Broccoli Farmer goes all in here, that's an easy fold for Catch If You Can. The way he's played, though, I wouldn't even put it past Gulai if he to fold here. Never mind. This could be a family pot. Okay. Would you look at that? Fear the King 10. The longest of long shots. Gulai, of course, with the nut flush draw, though, and he's... Actually, I think he's ahead. Catch If You Can has the best hand, but Gulai is ahead right now. And Catch Me If You Can is going to min-raise. Oh, no, not now. Oh, please. Not in the middle of a nut flush draw. Ugh. Pain pickle. That's why I'm throwing my support behind this guy. Like, come on, man. The robots are absolutely destroying him. If you couldn't feel his pain in that one, you have no soul. Interesting raise with the Queen 2 suited. Gulai is going to call and be behind. He deserves better than this. Come on. Well, he does get away from the sixes, but man, oh man, this is turning ugly for him. Just in time. Not going to get much out of it, though. Well, it's better than nothing. And if you're Gulai, I don't even know how you... I think the only way to think right now is, maybe I was going to miss that flush draw anyway. Maybe I would have lost it all. Maybe I just got saved my tournament. Who knows? That's the only healthy way to think right now. I'm not sure if it's humanly possible to think that way, but that's the only healthy way to think after getting screwed by the robots here. Although, nothing funny, Ant Chip. Oh, he's gonna be funny. Gulai does not want any part of it with the sixes, and he's gonna be really mad if Broccoli calls and he sees the hands. Well, he's going to be really mad. The sixes were ahead, and will it be a chop? No, it will not. The fours will double up. Gulai would have won with the two sixes, and he's got to be angry now at Ant Chip for bluffing him out of there with the Queen 3 suited. He's now the short stack, just nothing going his way. That was not an objectively bad play by Ant Chip, though. Let's be clear. He just figured the two super short stack blinds were Gulai. You have to play King Jack there. You have to. He is playing too tight. Let's be real. Like Broccoli had pretty much the bottom of his calling range from the big blind. And Antchip with a suited queen, that's a garbage hand, but he actually had decent equity as it turned out, so I've seen worse plays. Well, this time he does have a better hand. He will go all in and just pick it up straight up. And again, Broccoli Farmer pretty much knows that he can't just limp in to catch me if you can, because he will move all in. Did he pull the king? The small one? Wow. Oh boy, here we go again. There's so few chips in play now. Well, so few big blinds in play. Don't fold. Thank you. Broccoli might call, and if he does, he'll be dominated. He might fold too. Guess what, Broccoli? You know what would be really nice right now? A time bank. He's going to call, and he's going to need to see a queen. There it is! Gulai doesn't get to re-steal it. So, Gulai, I was throwing my support behind you, but the robots hit you hard, and, well, you should have played some more pots. Okay, now all of a sudden the green circles are back. Yeah, Gulai, let's not pretend that Gulai didn't, he folded a little bit too much. But still, $3,523 for Gulai off of a $2.50 buy-in. How much better could you have asked for? Well, first place, that's how. But, you know. Broccoli Farmer, again, though, not hopelessly far behind anymore, and all three of these guys are playable. Catch Me If You Can, though, being a stalwart, forcing them to work for it all. You're not taking a deal until you knock me out. That's my kind of guy. No one's got anything here, though. Who wants to try and bluff it? No one yet. And to be fair, there's not a whole lot of bluff cards out there. But there's a bet. Catch If You Can with just 10 high, trying to get queen high to fold. Nicely done. And that was a raised pot, so pretty significant pot just from that. Every pot is significant three-handed. Ant Chip going for the bully all in, and Broccoli can't possibly call with queen 5. What are you ahead of? Dude, stop tanking on all the easy decisions. I mean, I say that, but he easily could have just been distracted by something. But seriously, dude, you're establishing a pattern here, and I don't like it. What could possibly be distracting you from being the final 3 of the dream anyway? What could distract you from playing in the final 3 of a 49,000 person tournament? I'd love to know. Broccoli with, I think, just enough to go for it here. I mean, we'll try and limp in. Oh. Catch You If You Can's an honest man. At least this time. Broccoli flops some backdoors. This guy has absolutely no regard for time banks. Maybe he's literally farming Broccoli as he's playing this tournament. Maybe that's why it's taking so long. Of course, let's not pretend for a second that I don't wish I was him. I wish I was him. Oh, we got a potential big pot here. Ant Chip with ace-9 suited. It's really good three-handed, but he's going to give him credit. Can't say I blame them, because Broccoli Farmer has not been 3-betting very lightly. But in that one particular instance, Ant Chip would have had him dominated. $6-5, not bad. Broccoli with King 10. And the 6 works. But that's the other side of King 10. Sometimes you'll totally airball the flop, and hey, you can fold it pretty easily. Jacks. Never an easy fold, but kind of nice to have 3-handed. I must to say about these last couple of little short pots. Bronco with a pair of 2s. I don't think he's... Okay, he is wild about him. Never move all in with 2s. You literally cannot be better than 50-50 if somebody calls you. Okay, ace-2. That's the only hand that you're going to get called by that you're actually dominating. Nice flop for Ant Chip. He'll just take it down. I'll be honest, I am actually kind of growing weary of doing these commentaries. There's 3 more after this that I plan on doing. But maybe after a little meal, I'll be ready to go after it again. Sure enough, I'm looking outside. I'm getting distracted, I don't know, but I saw that nobody had any cards, so... Ace-8's probably all-in worthy here, 3-handed. And 2 Queen 10s, I don't think either of which are quite prepared to call. Five's going for it. And there are 3 hands that 5s have dominated. Well, more than 3, I guess. Ace-4. Yay! 8s are real nice. Now, he's got more chips now. He doesn't have to go all in if he wants. He could make it 8 million and be fine. Or min-raise to 7 million. Ant Chip with Ace-5. Wise not to move all in there. And he does flop middle pair, though, so... These guys both have hands to continue with. Ooh! Except now Ant Chip is drawing dead. Still probably has just enough to keep going, though, if Broccoli bets here. That's a pretty sizable bet. Good laydown from Ant Chip. I had to at least been slightly tempted to keep going there. And his pairs keep getting better. He's gone from 2s to 5s to 8s to 9s. Boo! Well, we know they don't do it. Boo! Taking a while. I'll bet that's Broccoli Farmer's fault. He's like, oh my goodness, I can pretend that I still have time bank. I'm gonna wait for 3 minutes before accepting the terms. Except I'm not going to accept it because we know they don't. Come on, Broccoli. I'm just blaming him. I don't care. I don't care if it's true or not. There we go. Oh, goody, the blinds just went up too. I don't know if the blinds going up is part of, the deal waiting process. I wouldn't think it would be. It's the one thing I don't know about deals yet. All right, so fives go straight for it. I don't know why. They're not that good of a hand, and he's got a lot of chips now. Catch you if you can with the raise and take it. That was 3x too. Curiously, it's Ant Chip who still has the check mark, the green circle. Now, he's the guy who was. He just folded a suited ace three-handed. Ant Chip was the one who was just running insanely good from 6 tables down. But he's mellowed out quite a bit at this final table. Well, I guess that's why you fold ace-7, because you can pick up ace-6 on the next hand. I mean, ace-king. Catch Me If You Can, for some ungodly reason, has checked the box again. What is going to be different about it? What's going to be different about the deal now? You're just folding to each other pre-flop. You're giving each other walks. They're just having second thoughts and just want to do it again. I just want to make my head spin as a commentator. I know they probably don't know about me, but if they do, they're just want to make my head spin. I don't know how he folds 10-8 there. 10-8 suited in the small blind three-handed. Maybe you guys should do a chop. You're just going to fold pre-flop all the time. Ant Chip going for the all-in and picks up a whopping $4 million. Nines against Queen 10. And they just want to get this done at this point. Blinds are enormous, and they apparently are abolishing post-flop play. Because, honestly, they have plenty of chips. Like, in the sense that nobody is, massively short-stacked. Oh, we do have some post-flop play here. And maybe that's why everybody's not playing King-Jack, because flops like that come out. But Catch Me If You Can extends his lead. Ace-Jack suited. Broccoli. Will min raise, which gives Ant Chip a chance to play. Nope. King 10's nice. Bill 2.5x, it's a 10 million. Broccoli, ace-9 suited. Don't fold. Oh, look, Broccoli's taking a sweet time. And he goes all in at the last millisecond. King 10 now with a decision that I imagine he's leaning towards folding. Even I would, and I love King 10. Yeah, he's folded. But good all in there by Broccoli Farmer. Eventually. Like, if you're a railbird and you're, like, watching your brother or son or whatever playing, it's so much more stressful at a final table because once they start knocking people out, they don't replace them with any more players. It just gets shorter and shorter handed, and the guy that you're watching is in every pot at this point. So if you're stressed out by watching someone participate in a pot, then you might want to just stick to watching the earlier tables. And pair of eights gets it done. They're very, very scary board. Nobody wanted to take a stab at that. No one's got anything there either. This point, we're all just waiting for the robots to get bored again. $2.5x from Broccoli gets the job done. As I've been saying on many a final table. Ace King for Broccoli. I'm going with min raise this time, and insta fold for the Ace 3. He is correct in this case, but I feel like the proper thing to do would have been to see a flop there, but he picked a good time to fold, that's for sure. Jack 10. No good. He's looking for an all-in. And the climate at this table has changed. There's no doubt about that. They are all kind of on the same wavelength here as far as going for the all-in. Broccoli has now moved over 100 million. I like broccoli. I think spinach is my favorite vegetable, though. 10. He's going to raise it. There you go. Broccoli folds an ace three-handed. My goodness. Why are these aces just not good enough three-handed? Oh, because he gets dealt pocket jacks the next 10. That's why. And 10-6 suited is going to make the call. That's a pretty good board for jacks. It's okay to have overcards if they're paired. He's just going to check, though, trying to induce a bluff. But 10-6 of clubs is probably not thinking about doing that. And Catch Me If You Can has been the leader for most of this final table, but his chip lead's almost all gone now. What? Is he a human, or is he a random number generator? Because these insta-min raises make absolutely no sense. But at the same time, that's kind of the beauty of them. And look, a scary river card, an ace. They make absolutely no sense, but maybe that's the whole point. It's not supposed to make any sense. And he checks them. You know what? Forget any praise I was going for. What in the world were you doing there? If you're gonna do a min raise, then bluff the river. Your 10 high's worth nothing. You're not gonna catch anything that's worth anything either. If you're gonna do that, you gotta bluff the river. You can't just min raise and assume that'll be it. I doubt that that was a misclick because the raise button and the fold button are pretty far apart from each other. Broccoli now extending his lead. And Ant Chip waiting and waiting for something to happen. Something to use. That's helpful. That'll do for Ant Chip. Broccoli Farmer probably not going to make this call. Yeah. Fives for Ant Chip. And he says no. He thinks he can do better with 12 big blinds left. He might be right. I mean, that flop certainly was nowhere near pocket fives. Catch me if you can hit a little piece of that. Broccoli bets. And catch me if you can. Folds. Because, yeah, that's what you do when you're three-handed. You have queen 10, you pop a pair. I really don't understand that fold. Pair and a gut shot, even. When you're three-handed, that's worth kind of a lot. All in this time from ace-4 offsuit. Ace-6 makes the call. Oh! And the ace-4 gets there. Ant Chip suffers the bad beat and is out in third place. Ant Chip ran incredibly well, played incredibly well. From 6 tables down, he was just in charge of the world. But he'll settle for third place. Pretty nice third place, though, over $5,000 off of a $250 buy-in. $2.50, that is, not $250. Even if it were $250, that would be a nice return on investment, but it's way better than that. Ace-8-7 flop. Nice start to heads up for Catch Me If You Can. Broccoli Farmer does not have a straight draw. He has Queen Eye. And he once again has Queen High. Queen 6, which is the hand that I got dealt most often at replay poker. There's a chance I'll go back to that, but obviously now that I have, a real money poker account and bankroll therein. Ooh, wow. Going all in with the ace-5. A little surprised by that. We've been seeing... Are you kidding me with this? I hate robots. I hate robots. Robots suck. Forward just a bit. Ooh. Ace 10 against Queen 9. Have we seen this one? I don't know. I don't even care anymore. I just want this over with. This is getting preposterous. It's certainly not going anywhere. Catch Me If You Can with a very good flop. Oh, wait, no, yeah. Yeah, we did see this one already, so let's 3x it. Just go, go. It's so frustrating. Like, this wasn't happening at all in any of the final tables except for the last one that I did. That was understandable, though, because I took a big break in the middle of it. Here, I've been going at it the whole time. I have no idea why this is still happening. It might just be because this tournament had 49,000 players in it, and the system is still trying to process that number. I think we're caught up now. I genuinely have no idea. It didn't do this at the Venom. It didn't do this at the Dime, which also had a similarly gigantic field. Broccoli with a very good flop. Well, it's just a straight draw, but it's an open-ended straight draw, and heads up, you'll take that. Catch me if you can with nothing. Nothing versus nothing. Ooh, the robots are getting bored. Straight draw for catching if you can. Pair for broccoli farmer. Bet there makes perfect sense, but broccoli farmer's going nowhere. And a straight for catch me if you can. 7 high flush draw for broccoli farmer. That's his only out. Half pot, and he still of course has that pair with the small flush draw, so this is worth thinking about. Gee, it would be really nice if he actually had a time bank so we could think about this. But he does make eventually the correct decision. And by decision, I mean the game decided for him because he didn't have a time bank. Right. Nice pick up there. I'm not even going to be talking until I see a flop at this point. Or, of course, there's just 2 really big hands pre-flop. I feel like heads up pre-flop is fairly self-explanatory at this point. Oh, not even going to play the 3-5. I'd have played that. I mean, that's bad, but it's connected. Sometimes that's all you need. Oh, you do have a flop here, and they both have a gut shot. They need the other guy's pair. Well, they need the other guy to pair. 5 million from Catch Me If You Can, and ooh! Call from Broccoli Farmer, understandable. That was a min bet with a gut shot, and he hits the gut shot. Catch Me If You Can likes his pair and bets 7.5 million. Broccoli Farmer, though, I think likes his hand a lot more. 9 of hearts on the river. Broccoli Farmer with the Queen of Hearts. I doubt he's scared of a flush. Another 7.5 million from Catch Me If You Can. Broccoli Farmer sizing up a raise, I would assume. 27 million. Yeah, I don't think he was calling any raise, but that's a good size. If you happen to have like an ace, or maybe a hand like King 9, then that's a good raise size. All right, pair of jacks for Broccoli Farmer. Catch Me If You Can with absolute air. And no one really wants it. Although I like the checking from Broccoli Farmer because he doesn't have a lot. He's just checking and, making sure he doesn't lose too much. He does finally open up on the river, and Catch If You Can just leaves. Not gonna lie, I would have expected more in the PKO bounties by this point with 49,000 people. Wow. He was ready to roll the dice with ace-6 there. I don't know about that. But he does pick up a little bit extra pre-flop with that all in. I mean, like, ace-6 is pretty nice heads up, but look at the stack sizes here. He was rolling the dice for pretty much all the marbles in play, period. And interesting flop here. Up and down, straight up for Catch Me If You Can, and a gut shot, needing the 6, and a flush draw for Broccoli Farmer. That 5 looks like it completed somebody's hand, but it didn't. I just noticed there's an odd number of chips in play. Because one stack ends with a 6 and the other one ends with a 0. The pot ends with a 0. So something happened. Oh, I know. I know why that is. Well, they both missed, and Catch Me If You Can shows more heart on the river and takes it. Nice play by Catch Me If You Can. But yeah, I know why that is. Because there's so many different starting, day one starting fields that, they didn't just narrow down to one player, those day one starting fields. So everybody who survived the day one starting fields had odd numbers of chips. So we have odd numbers of chips at this final table. Jack 4 against pocket queens. Gotta say that the queens look a lot better here. Raise with the Jack 4. Re-raise from the queens. Could have seen a call or a raise there. Broccoli has nowhere to go with these. Get Jack 4 off suit. But he's going to do what he does best and take a really long time on a really easy decision. $3.6 million. Stop. They're already dead. I mean, look at the big blinds in play. 21 plays 25.5. Oh, the big blind is now 1,000 starting stacks. Yep, bringing that one back. All in from the 5s. King, Queen will make the call, and what a flop for King, Queen. Oh, flush draw. Nope. Oh, never mind. The Queen was a spade, too. Broccoli Farmer did not have a good flush draw. Had to hit a 5 on the river. Did not hit it, and just like that, because these blinds are so enormous, we're just about done. That hand contained almost every single chip in play. I don't know how you folds the Jack 6 there. That's good enough, I think, with Broccoli so short, but obviously Broccoli had the better hand, so. There you go, Broccoli. And he doesn't milk it this time. He's a 7 and a 7 only to win it. Oh! Broccoli suffers a bad beat there on the river, but he was pretty short at that point anyway. Not much he could have done. And great show by all these players, obviously. Like I said, you get past 49,000, you gotta be a player. You cannot be any kind of pretender. So with that, our game is mercifully over, and sure enough, the difference between first and second was not all that much compared with the difference between second and third. But, it is what it is. Thank you, everybody, for watching The Dream. I will see you again. Next up will be OSS 197. And after that, the other two OSS 211s. And that'll be it for my commentary for a while now. So I hope that you've been enjoying it. I'm starting to lose my enthusiasm for doing it, but yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. And there will be more of me, of course, on America's Card Room, but I'll be playing more. So I'll catch you, and I'll see you when I see you.